Daniel Jones shares heartfelt farewell to Giants fans. "I gave everything I had on and off the field." Well, folks, it's that time again. The football world is turning the page. And this time, it's New York Giants quarterback Daniel Jones who's saying his emotional goodbye. Yes, the 6-year veteran was benched this week in favor of Tommy DeVito. And it's clear that Jones is going through a whirlwind of emotions, trying to digest the end of a chapter in his football career. It's been a rocky road for the young quarterback. But as Jones himself said, he gave it everything he had. And while this may feel like a sad goodbye, it's also a testament to his dedication, passion, and love for the game. This past Thursday, Jones found himself practicing with the scout team, even lining up at safety. You read that right, safety. It's a bit of a strange sight to see a starting quarterback don a defensive position, but it shows just how much Jones is willing to do for the team, no matter where he's placed. However, before answering any tough questions from the media, Jones read from a prepared statement that sounded more like a heartfelt farewell than a press conference. Here's how he kicked things off. "I'm still processing and trying to think through what's best for this team. And what's best for me," Jones began. It's clear that he's trying to wrap his head around a situation that's not exactly ideal. But he's not one to shy away from taking accountability. After all, this is a man who's worn his heart on his sleeve for 6 years in New York. He continued, "The opportunity to play for the New York Giants was truly a dream come true. And I'm extremely grateful to the Mara and Tisch families for the chance to play here." And boy, do we believe him. The love and respect he's shown for the franchise over the years is clear. Jones went on to praise the Giants, calling them a first-class organization and expressing deep gratitude for the people who helped build the team into what it is today. From his coaches to his teammates, Jones made sure to acknowledge everyone who played a part in his journey. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. As he admitted, there were highs and there were lows. There have been some great times. But of course, we all wish there had been more of those, Jones said. And who could blame him? There's a sense of longing when you think about the potential that never quite fully materialized. Jones took full responsibility for the tough moments, acknowledging that the team didn't win enough games. But he made it clear, no one wanted to win more than him. His passion for the game, his work ethic, and his commitment to preparation were never in question. He gave everything, both on the field and in the preparation. "We didn't do that well enough. So the idea to change something happens and I understand," Jones said, referencing the decision to bench him for Tommy DeVito. A tough pill to swallow for sure. But Jones showed maturity in understanding the rationale behind the move. NFL football is a brutal business. And sometimes, change is necessary to spark results. Then came the part of the statement that hit us all right in the feels. "I love the game. I love being part of a team," Jones said, as he expressed excitement for what the future holds. After all, he's still young. And as any athlete will tell you, there's always more football ahead. But before moving on, he had a few more words for the fans. "To all the fans, I've got deep respect and appreciation for your passion and love for the Giants," he said. Giants fans, if you're reading this, you know that Jones always gave it his all, and that's what made him a beloved figure on the team. In the midst of all this emotional reflection, the Giants made a move to add quarterback Tim Boyle to their roster, which pushed Jones down to 4th on the depth chart, behind DeVito, Drew Lock, and Boyle. This decision stems partly from Jones' $23 million injury guarantee for 2025. If the Giants aren't going to play him in the remaining 7 games of the season, it's better to avoid the risk of triggering that guaranteed money. As of now, Jones is still under the second year of a 4-year, $160 million contract extension signed in March 2023, but with no guaranteed money left after this season. His future with the team is uncertain. Now, let's take a look at the numbers. In his 6 years with the Giants, Jones has amassed a record of 22-44-1, certainly not a stat line that screams superstar. But he did have that one shining moment in 2022, with a winning record and a playoff appearance. Not bad, right? He's thrown 70 career touchdown passes, but also has 47 interceptions and 26 fumbles lost to his name. And let's not forget the 208 sacks he's taken in 70 games, tough stuff for any quarterback. Jones did express that. For now, he's focused on helping the team in whatever way he can. For now, I'm doing the best I can to help Tommy prepare. Help the team prepare, he said. Even in this difficult time, Jones is doing his best to stay engaged and supportive, proving that he's always been about the team, even when things don't go his way. As we say goodbye to Daniel Jones from his starting role, It's not the end of his journey, just a new chapter. The football world will be watching closely to see what comes next for him. But for now, we want to wish him the best of luck. After all, he gave everything he had to the Giants. And that's all any fan can ask for. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more updates. Let's keep the conversation going. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Giants bench Daniel Jones, demote him to third string, and name Tommy DeVito as new starter. A bold new era begins, sort of. Alright, Giants fans, hold on to your helmets. The New York Giants have just made a move that's got everyone talking, and probably scratching their heads a little bit. They've officially benched quarterback Daniel Jones and demoted him to third string, while naming Tommy DeVito as their new starter going forward. Yes, you heard that right, Tommy DeVito. The same DeVito you might have seen warming up the bench like it was a sun lounger. It's been a tough ride for the Giants this season. And after a rough bye-week full of tape review and soul-searching, head coach Brian Daboll and the front office decided it was time for a change. But not just any change, a drastic one. Now, let's break it down. What does this all mean? The struggles of Daniel Jones, a quarterback on the struggle bus. First things first, Daniel Jones. The guy who took over for Giants legend Eli Manning. A guy who seemed to have all the potential in the world when he entered the NFL in 2019. Under then-coach Pat Shurmur. Jones impressed with flashes of brilliance, leading many to believe he could be the future of the franchise. Fast forward through 2 tumultuous seasons under Joe Judge, who, well, let's just say he didn't exactly inspire confidence. And Jones gets a fresh start under Brian Daboll in 2022. In Daboll's first year, the Giants overperformed expectations. With Jones playing smart, confident football, they made it to the divisional round of the playoffs. It seemed like the light bulb had finally clicked. This was the quarterback the Giants had been waiting for. Daboll was the magic that made Jones look like a real NFL quarterback. The future was looking bright. But here's the kicker, that 2022 season, which had fans believing the Giants had turned a corner, set the stage for the mess we're in now. Why? Because that season is what led general manager Joe Schoen to offer Jones a 4-year, $160 million contract in March 2023. Yes, a hefty deal for a quarterback who had only shown glimpses of greatness, while still prone to some very "what is going on" moments. And no, it didn't leave the Giants with much cash to lock up their star running back, Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley, the one who got away. Speaking of Barkley, remember him? You know, the guy who was the true heart and soul of the Giants' offense, and a guy who made defenses quake in their boots? Well, the Giants weren't exactly feeling the love when it came to him. Instead of giving Barkley the long-term contract he deserved, they slapped him with the franchise tag. That's when things started to go south. As we saw in the offseason during HBO's Hard Knocks, the Giants essentially gave Barkley the cold shoulder, implying that they didn't view him as a must-have piece of their offense moving forward. Barkley, understandably feeling disrespected, did what any star would do. He took his talents to Philadelphia, a team more than happy to pay him what he was worth. 2023, the year of injury, interceptions, and more injuries. Now, back to Jones. Let's just say that 2023 hasn't exactly been his year. Over the first 5 games, Jones had just 2 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown. All in the same game, but also 6 interceptions. A great ratio, right? Things only went downhill from there, as Jones injured his neck in Week 5 and, upon his return in Week 9, tore his ACL in his right knee, effectively ending his season. It was a series of misfortunes that left the Giants with a big question: is this the guy we're investing all this money in? And the answer? Well, not anymore. The Giants' current state, a long dark road to recovery. At this point, the Giants are sitting at a dismal 2-8 record, dead last in the NFC East, and tied for the worst record in the entire NFL. It's the kind of situation that feels like one long, painful rock bottom. But hey, there's a silver lining. By benching Jones and starting Tommy DeVito, the Giants are finally making a move in the right direction, because, let's face it, this current direction is all sorts of bad. So, what exactly does it mean for the Giants? Well, let's get real. The road back to the top is going to be long, really long, and probably filled with a whole lot of uncertainty. But hey, benching Jones is at least a start, right? The Tommy DeVito era, the start of something different? And now we have Tommy DeVito, the new starter. Yes, DeVito, the guy who was basically a clipboard holder up until now. It's a bold move by Dable and the Giants front office. But honestly, at this point, what have they got to lose? DeVito's been with the team as a backup, but now he's being thrust into the spotlight. Will he rise to the occasion? Or is he just another quarterback auditioning for a role in the NFL's next big flop reality show? In any case, the Giants are going to be learning a lot about their future as they ride out the rest of the season with DeVito at the helm. The good news for Giants fans? At least they're not totally stuck with the same old mistakes. Maybe it's time to shake things up. The big picture, what's next for the Giants? So, let's step back for a moment. Bench Daniel Jones. Start Tommy DeVito. What's the bigger picture here? The Giants are clearly in rebuild mode. They've got a lot of work to do. From the quarterback position to their offensive line to basically everything else. But benching Jones is a step towards that rebuild. The Giants are giving themselves the chance to finally get a fresh look at their future. Whether DeVito is the answer is still up for debate. But if nothing else, he's the new face of this lost season. And if he can spark a little magic, who knows? Maybe he'll be the guy to help bring the Giants back to relevance in the future. But for now, the Daniel Jones era in New York is officially over. Whether that's a good or bad thing, we'll see in time. Closing thoughts, a new era begins, sort of. Well, Giants fans, it's official. The team is going through some growing pains. But hey, it's not all doom and gloom. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the big change in New York, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share with all your fellow Giants fans, because, let's face it, they need all the therapy they can get right now. See you next time for more updates. And stay hopeful. The season might be a bust, but the future is what we make it. The Giants' franchise-killing decision, how they chose Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley. Hey there, Giants fans. Or should I say, ex-Giants fans? You know, I'm sure it feels like we've all been on a never-ending roller coaster with this team, up 1 minute, down the next. And right now? Well, the ride is a little more down than up. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most questionable decisions in New York Giants history. No, I'm not talking about their third failed attempt at a quarterback carousel over the last decade, though. We could easily fill a whole video on that. Today, we're talking about the day the Giants decided to pay Daniel Jones, yes, Daniel Jones, over their true franchise player, Saquon Barkley. Grab your popcorn, because this decision is just one big, juicy mess of what not to do if you want to build a successful football team. Let's break it all down. The scene before the decision, the Giants were in playoff mode. Kind of. Okay, let's roll back to the 2022 season. The Giants were, wait for it, actually in the playoffs. Let's all take a moment to appreciate that, shall we? After a long and painful rebuild, the Giants managed to sneak into the postseason. They even won a playoff game. It was supposed to be a turning point for this proud franchise. So, here we are at the end of the season. And the Giants have two huge contract decisions to make: what to do with Daniel Jones, and what to do with their MVP-caliber running back, Saquon Barkley. Jones, selected 6th overall in the 2019 NFL Draft, was, well, fine. He wasn't exactly the kind of quarterback you write home about. But he wasn't a complete disaster either. Jones led the Giants to a wildcard win. But let's be honest, it was more of a team effort than any wow moments from Jones himself. He threw for only 15 touchdowns that season, which is, like, really not great in today's NFL. In fact, his 135-yard, 0-touchdown performance in a 31-7 playoff loss to the Philadelphia Eagles didn't exactly inspire confidence for the future. And then, there's Saquon Barkley. The guy was a beast. He's the reason the Giants had any offense at all. He rushed for 1.312 yards and 10 touchdowns, played through injuries, and single-handedly kept opposing defenses up at night. It was clear to everyone that Barkley was the heart and soul of the offense, and probably the whole team. So, what does the Giants front office do? They commit big money to Daniel Jones. Yes, Daniel Jones. The Giants' decision: who do you pay first? The QB or the guy who's actually good? Let's take a quick look at what happened next. After the 2022 season, the Giants made a decision that would make your average NFL fan choke on their coffee. They gave Jones a 4-year, $160 million contract, with a crazy $47.855 million salary cap hit in 2024. Meanwhile, Barkley was offered a paltry 3-year deal worth just $13 million, with only $19.5 million guaranteed. Ouch. If you didn't already know. That's a pretty hefty slap in the face for a guy who's been carrying your offense for the last few seasons. The Giants, clearly assuming that Jones was the future of the franchise, decided to franchise tag Barkley for the 2023 season, which means they gave him a 1-year, $10.1 million deal. Now, while that might sound like a lot of money to you and me, it's nothing compared to what quarterbacks make. And to make things even juicier, the Giants openly told Barkley to test the free agent waters and said, "If we really like your offer, we'll match it." Ouch. Again. Here's the kicker: the Eagles, seeing an opportunity to upgrade their already loaded roster, offered Barkley a 3-year, $37.75 million contract, with $26 million guaranteed. Bingo. Barkley took the offer. And just like that, he was gone. And then, the Giants came to realize their mistake, too late. Fast forward to the 2023 season. What's happening now? Well, not what the Giants expected. Jones, despite that hefty contract, hasn't exactly been lighting the world on fire. In fact, he's been downright mediocre. His completion percentage dropped from 67.5% last year to just 63.3% this season. He's thrown more interceptions, 7, than touchdowns, 8. Oh, and here's the kicker: after yet another disappointing performance, Jones was benched in favor of backup Tommy DeVito. Yep, that Tommy DeVito. To put it mildly, the Daniel Jones era in New York looks like it might be over. Meanwhile, guess who's thriving in Philadelphia? Yep, Saquon Barkley. Barkley, now part of the Eagles' high-powered offense, is doing what he does best, tearing it up. In his latest performance against Washington, he rushed for 146 yards, scored 2 touchdowns, and added another 52 receiving yards. Through 10 games this season, Barkley has 1.137 rushing yards and 10 total touchdowns. Oh, and did I mention the Eagles are 8-2 and looking like serious Super Bowl contenders? Yeah, Barkley looks pretty darn happy to be in Philly. How did the Giants get here? A series of bad choices. Let's zoom out for a second and talk about what went wrong here. The Giants' decision to double down on Daniel Jones was clearly a miscalculation. They opted to overpay a quarterback who hasn't proven he can lead the team and, instead, lowballed their MVP-caliber running back. This decision has not only hurt the team's immediate performance but has also hurt their future prospects. Here's why. The Giants could have tagged Jones for 2023 and then entered the stacked 2023 quarterback draft. There were 6 quarterbacks taken in the top 12 picks last year, with several of them showing early promise. But, no, the Giants decided they had to lock in Jones. Now, well, they're stuck with him. And barring a miracle, it's going to be a tough road ahead. To make things even more tragic, the 2024 quarterback draft class isn't exactly full of star power. The Giants are likely to have a high pick this year, but with a lackluster group of quarterbacks in the upcoming draft, they might find themselves in a real bind. Oh, and they're also paying Jones a boatload of money that could have been better spent building out the roster, especially with their missing piece, Barkley, off in Philly. The real cost, a missed opportunity to build a championship team. The Giants messed up by ignoring the real value of positions. Yes, quarterbacks are essential to success in the NFL, but running backs like Saquon Barkley can be just as important. If you have a game-breaking talent in the backfield, your offense becomes much more dynamic and harder to defend. Just look at what Barkley is doing in Philadelphia. Meanwhile, Jones has struggled without Barkley in the lineup, and the Giants' offense has gone from mediocre to downright embarrassing. By focusing all their resources on Jones, the Giants failed to recognize that Barkley wasn't just an extra piece, he was the piece that could elevate the entire offense. The fact that they thought they could let him go and be fine without him? Well, that's what you call a classic "I can't believe they did that" moment. Conclusion: what's next for the Giants? In the end, the Giants' decision to prioritize Daniel Jones over Saquon Barkley could go down as one of the most franchise-killing decisions in NFL history. The Giants are stuck with a quarterback who has failed to deliver, while Barkley is out there living his best life with the Eagles, chasing a Super Bowl. As for the Giants, they're left with a big contract, a lot of what-ifs, and a whole lot of "please fix this." Closing section. Well, folks, that's the saga of how the Giants botched their decision-making and set themselves up for a lot of tough years ahead. If you found this deep dive into the Giants' poor choices enlightening, or at least entertaining, make sure to give this video a big like. And if you want to stay updated on all things NFL, don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. After all, who doesn't love a good underdog story? See you next time. And stay tuned for more football chaos.